Hey there, Meg Brunson here, and today we're going to talk about tracking the Facebook analytics that matter for your business. Specifically, I'm going to show you how to customize the columns in your ads manager so that you've got a preset column setup that is quick and easy for you to easily navigate to, that has everything that you need to see all in one place. So the first thing you're going to need to do from your ads manager is click on this box here. You see it says columns and it defaults typically to performance. So go ahead and click that button and you're going to see a whole bunch of options. Now you'll notice one here that's called my preferred view, and that's because I've set that up already. But we're going to pretend that's not there. So you can tell it's a custom column because there's a little X there, so you can actually delete it if you want to, but I don't want to do that. So at this point, you can go through some of these presets. You may notice some that you like using or some that you refer to at certain times or with certain campaigns. But typically what I enjoy doing is going down here to customize columns. It opens this view. So from here, you have a lot of options here on the left. This is like a menu, or you can scroll down. Now, as you scroll, you'll notice on the left, the blue highlighted part does move down. So you'll be able to quickly see where you are in the flow of things. Over on the far right is where you'll see the columns that are selected. So this will default to whatever column view you are on when you clicked customize. So right now this is set up to the performance columns. And what I'll typically do is go through and delete the statistics that I don't really care about. All right, so for my purposes, I typically don't need to see the budget when I'm looking at my ad level at the stats that I want to see. So I'm going to remove that. I do like to see delivery and ad set name. Cost and return on ad spend controls, I'm going to remove that. I don't need to see the last significant edit. Of course, I want to see my results. Reach and impressions, cost per result, amount spent, the date it ends. I do want to see that. The schedule, actually I can take off ends and leave schedule because that'll tell me the beginning and end date. I do like to know my relevance score. I personally don't care about frequency. Number one, it's just an estimated metric. So impressions is an actual metric. Facebook knows exactly how many impressions that it gives each ad, but reach is an estimate. Okay, so Facebook is estimating how many people it reaches because there's a variety of reasons why they may be a little bit off in their reach when you consider people using Facebook from different devices or things of that sort. So reach is an estimate, frequency is an estimate. So I'm going to remove frequency because I don't really care about frequency too much. I look at other stats to make my on-off decisions. I do want to see unique link clicks. We'll get back to purchases in a minute, landing page views, link clicks, cost per landing page view. All right, so I'm going to remove the cost per landing page view. Now, here's how I like to organize this. When I look at my columns, I want it to go in order, like big to small, like top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to put all this stuff in the front that is kind of background information. So the ad set name, the amount spent, that's just kind of background information. The schedule, oops, I can't unhighlight that. The schedule, that is background information. Delivery, let's see, results. Actually, I'm going to take off delivery. Results, reach. So impressions, I want to go above reach because the impressions number is going to be bigger. The reach number is going to be smaller. And I'll be able to estimate my own frequency without seeing that stat in there. Cost per result, I'm going to move up under results because that's a little bit of background information depending upon what I'm optimizing this campaign for. But this part at the end is going to be consistent for every single ad regardless of the optimization goals. So impression reach, I'm going to put relevance score above that. And then link clicks will be above unique link clicks. Landing page views is above purchases because I'm thinking of my sales funnel. And now I'm going to go over here into the center column. Just for the sake of this video, I'm going to kind of go through the whole thing so that you can see what's under each one of these categories. But I'm going to do it quickly, so don't get too overwhelmed. This isn't going to be a long video. So other things that you may be interested in: cost per click or click-through rate. These can be really great numbers to look at, especially if you want to compare your current performance to a previous performance. The click-through rate will let you know if your ad is getting people to click or not. So if your click-through rate is low, then people aren't reacting to your ad in the way that they should be, and you may need to change your copy, your creative, or your targeting. So you'll have to just analyze those elements of your ad and attempt to figure out which one might be underperforming. Because if they're not clicking through, they're not taking any further action on your website. Now, when we scroll down, again, some of these metrics may be more important to you or your clients. Page post, this is all stuff that happens on the page. So page engagement, likes, comments, shares, event responses, the cost per those page post things, messaging, cost per messaging. So if you're using engagement to measure your success, you might want to add some of those other over here. I'm really thinking of a more traditional sales funnel. So most of my clients are selling a product or a service digitally, or they're in the business of lead generation for local businesses. So those are kind of the clients that I tend to work with, both as my agency clients and as my mentorship clients and my strategy session clients. So that's what I'm focusing on here. But if you're using some of these other elements, you can definitely add those in. Video view stats. I can show you one of the presets is for video views. So if you're doing a lot of video view ads, you can probably just use that preset. You don't have to go through this whole process. So we've got link clicks and unique link clicks. But what you really, let's scroll down a little bit. What I really want to get to is this section. So conversions. If you are selling an online product or service and you've got a digital funnel, these are the standard events that you have possibly installed on your website. Now, if you are a podcast listener of mine, I host the Familypreneur podcast. We release content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and on Mondays we talk about marketing. So the past couple weeks we've been focused on Pixel. February has been Pixel month. Episode 69, we talked about what the Facebook Pixel is and why it matters for you. Episode 72, we talked about standard events. And episode 75, we talked about custom conversions. So standard events are going to be listed first in this conversion section, followed by any custom conversions that you have. So this is where we are going to build out our funnel over here in the Facebook ads, or in the columns. So I'm going to take the cost per click and the click-through rate and move those up here to our kind of background information section. And then I'm going to continue building out my funnel here. Website purchases is ultimately gonna go on the bottom, so we'll have to do a little more rearranging once we're done. So here is where you see all your standard events, and you can build your funnel out. So I'm just going to use an example, but I hope you get the idea here. So we've got link clicks, right? They're going to click the link in your ad. Then we've got landing page views. Now let's just assume we're going to bring them to a landing page where they're going to click through to view a product. So then we're going to want content views. We're going to want that to be on there, right? And then after they view the product, we want them to add it to the cart. So we're going to click add to cart. And then after they add to the cart, they are going to initiate checkout, which is checkouts initiated. And then they're going to purchase. And maybe we've also got a lead opportunity in there. So maybe we'll include leads. So now leads on its own, that's the standard event where leads forms, is if you're running a lead generation campaign. And then if you've set up your standard event tracking with the value input into the coding, then you can also track your return on ad spend, or any of these options like purchase. you can go over to cost per purchase or value per purchase. So that's the purchase conversion value. And what that means is if you spent $10 to get a purchase and the purchase was for a $20 product, then the value was $20. The return on ad spend was $2 because you put $10 in and you got double that back. So that's how those stats all kind of play into one another. So if you've got that conversion tracking set up, you can go ahead and click on that box too. Maybe you'd be interested in knowing the value. If you've got 5 purchases, that's good information. But what if, those 5 purchases could be for $1 items, or those 5 purchases could be for $100 items? You don't know unless you only have one product. So that's where knowing the value, having the value, the conversion value set up can be beneficial. So once you've got that all checked, then we're going to come over here and you'll notice that it gave us some additional options here. So this breaks down the content views, the ones that happened on mobile versus website versus offline. I'm just going to uncheck those boxes because I just really care about the total content views at this point. I don't want it to be overkill. I can always go in and analyze the source of that information if I want to see specifically what came from the website or mobile. So I'm just unchecking those, and then I'm going to rearrange them so that it makes sense. Purchases will be, man, it's a little finicky, huh? Add to cart. There we go. Purchase. Oh no. And then leads might be a little higher. So you're going to know your funnel, where these things happen. But basically, we're looking at link clicks, landing page views, how many leads, then how many people viewed content, added to cart, initiated checkout, bought the thing, what the return on ad spend was, and what the conversion value was. So I'm actually going to flip-flop those because they bought the thing. They bought however many dollars worth of whatever they bought, and then what that return on ad spend was. Now, let me just show you one more thing before I hit apply. Custom conversions. So if you didn't do the coding, if you didn't set up your conversion tracking through standard events, then you may have used custom conversions. Again, if you want to learn more about that, episode 75 of the podcast, and there's another YouTube video here in my account. Make sure you hit subscribe to this YouTube account because I'm going to have more videos like this weekly. So custom conversions, these, once they're set up, they will show up here, and then you can check the ones that are relevant for you. So this is one of my opt-ins. Maybe I want to track that specifically, or you may have your whole funnel built out through custom conversions. So that really depends on how you set things up, which you pick to put in your columns here. Down here, the settings, these are just some other options. You can scroll through them yourself to see, they're all pretty self-explanatory, to see what things you may be interested in tracking. But once you are set to go, here's where in the lower left-hand corner, you can click to save as preset. You can give it a name. So I'm just going to do like funnel example. And then you hit apply. It's quick and easy. So I'm not using all of these standard events in this account's ads, but you can still see, if you just look at this top column here, you can still see how easy it is to then just come in, select, whichever column you want. Earlier I talked about video engagement. Here's the video engagement one where it breaks down all the video stats that you would need. I use that one pretty frequently. But again, I'll go back to funnel example. It saves everything. And now you can quickly come in here and see which campaign it was, what was the amount spent, how many results did you get, what was the cost per result, some cost per click and click-through rate, so you can see, are people clicking through, and then impressions, how many impressions, how many people were reached, link clicks, etc., straight down the funnel. And that's what I do for every single one of my clients when I get them brand new is I set up custom columns so that I can quickly and easily navigate over to the stats that matter most to their business when I'm tracking and analyzing any of their campaigns. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You can also head over to our free Facebook group at familypreneurcommunity.com. And again, I would love to have you hit the subscribe button here on YouTube or to head over to your favorite podcast player and subscribe to Familypreneur there. Have a great one. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.